Welcome to today's presentation, Legislative Grants Pre-Contracting Guidance. My name is Brooke Brennan. I am the Assistant Director of Financial Administration within the Bureau of Contract Management. After today's presentation, our hope is that your organization will understand the required tasks prior to contracting with New York State. Our agenda includes registering in the statewide financial system, SFS, completing pre-qualification in SFS, providing proof of coverage for both workers' compensation and disability benefits, or, if applicable, proof of exemption, completing a vendor responsibility questionnaire when applicable, and finally, we will touch on using the OCFS Contract Management System, CMS, for those developing their contracts online. The very first pre-contracting task is getting your organization registered in the statewide financial system. In order to complete several of the pre-contracting tasks we will cover today, your organization must be registered in SFS. If you do not have a New York State vendor ID, you should reach out to your contact at BCM and they will walk you through the information needed to request this. Be prepared to provide information about your organization, for example, a substitute W-9, to support the vendor registration process. And as a part of this request, you will designate the initial primary contact for your organization's SFS account. The primary contact will receive the vendor registration portal welcome email. This email will include your vendor identification number, vendor ID, and will direct the primary contact to complete the online registration in the SFS vendor portal. Instructions are included in the welcome email. Once your organization is registered in SFS, the next step is signing into the vendor portal at the address shown here. Ensure the organization's address, general contact information, and business locations are accurate. Even if you already have access to the vendor portal, it is still critical that you take the time to ensure the organization's information is up to date and accurate. This also includes your banking information and payment address. If you have additional questions about SFS registration, please contact the SFS Help Desk at the email or phone numbers shown here. The SFS Help Desk is available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The next pre-contracting step is to complete the pre-qualification application in SFS. After securing your SFS ID, the next step is completing an online pre-qualification application. This includes answering basic questions in SFS regarding the organization, as well as uploading key organizational documents. Nonprofit organizations must pre-qualify to do business with New York State agencies before a contract can be executed. The process allows nonprofits to address questions and concerns prior to entering into a contract with New York State. Nonprofits are strongly encouraged to begin the pre-qualification process as soon as possible. In order to complete the pre-qualification application in SFS, you will need to have the correct user role of pre-qualification processor. Questions regarding vendor pre-qualification should be emailed to grantsreform@its.ny.gov. While BCM doesn't oversee the user roles in SFS, we are happy to point you to some guidance on how to set up new user accounts and user roles. We strongly recommend you take advantage of the resources available in the guide shown here, information to support grantees. This is available at the address shown on the slide. Information and links about creating and managing SFS user accounts and roles can be found on pages 12 through 14 of the guide. Specific guidance on managing pre-qualification begins on page 18 of the guide. And links to further documentation and helpful videos can be found on page 40 of the guide. Next, your organization will need to provide proof of coverage for both workers' compensation and disability benefit, or, if applicable, proof that you are exempt from carrying these coverages. Proof of workers' compensation coverage. You must maintain coverage for the entire term of the contract. You will submit proof of your current coverage as well as any renewals as needed to cover the full term of the contract. This means submitting one of the forms listed here. or if your organization is not subject to workers' compensation coverage, a certificate of exemption, CE 200, is required. The same applies for providing proof of disability benefits coverage. You must maintain coverage for the entire term of the contract. You will submit proof of your current coverage as well as any renewals as needed to cover the full term of the contract. And again, if your organization is not subjected to disability benefits coverage, a certification of exemption, CE 200, is required. One common question that comes up during contract development is how to show proof of workers' comp or disability benefits coverage when the renewal is due to happen mid-contract term. Let's say, for example, the contract term was April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. Initially, you would submit proof of your current coverage. In this example, coverage ends on December 31st, 2024. When your coverage renews on January 1st, 2025, you will submit proof of this renewal. Your contract can be approved with the first proof of coverage, but in order to submit claims for payment later down the road, you will need to have submitted proof that it renewed. Only two types of entities may apply for a certificate to show they are exempt from the requirement to provide workers' comp and/or disability benefits and paid family leave benefits coverage. 1. New York entities with no employees. 2. Out-of-state entities obtaining a contract or license where all the work is performed outside of New York State. If you believe your organization is exempt from workers' compensation and/or disability benefit, then you need to obtain and file the CE 200 form. For additional information regarding workers' compensation and disability benefits requirements, please refer to the New York State Workers' Compensation Board website using the link shown here. The next pre-contracting task is to verify that your organization is current with your charity's registration. Application, registration, and the registration exemption forms can be found at the website listed here, www.charitiesnys.com. Questions regarding this process and forms should be directed to the New York State Office of Attorney General's Charity Bureau at either the number or email shown here. The next pre-contracting step we will cover is vendor responsibility questionnaire. This is required of all contracts or subcontracts valued at $100,000 and over. For any contracts or subcontracts valued at $100,000 and over, a vendor responsibility questionnaire must be filed with the New York State Office of the State Comptroller. This can be done online through a New York State VendRep system, or a completed paper copy questionnaire can be submitted with your contract. The vendor responsibility questionnaire should be certified every 6 months. Further information on filing either the online questionnaire or a paper version can be found at the link shown here. Since the majority of contracts will now be developed online using the OCFS State Contract Management System, it is important that we touch upon utilizing CMS prior to contract development starting. It is likely you will use OCFS's Online Contract Management System, CMS, during the contract development and throughout the life of your contract. CMS is accessed at the link shown here on the slide. If your organization does not currently have access to CMS, or if you need to add, remove, or change user roles, please complete the CMS authorization form and return it to OCFS. It typically takes 5 to 7 business days for accounts to be created. The CMS authorization form, OCFS 4821, and instructions are available at the address shown here on the slide. Helpful hint. While you will designate one primary contact for each contract in CMS, it is recommended that your organization designate at least 2 individuals to each CMS role. This ensures that multiple staff members are able to work on the contract. Information about how to use CMS is available online at the address shown here on the slide. There is also the option for live WebEx training in the following topics: Session 1, Introduction to CMS, Session 2, Contract Processing Overview. Please check our website for the latest schedule or reach out to your OCFS contract manager to learn more about registering for these training sessions. BCM plans to host monthly live Q&A sessions for legislative grantees. Please check our website for the latest schedule. This concludes today's presentation.